I talked a lot about Phil Foden last week. I was at the Manchester derby. We had a chance to speak to him after the game as well. He had a couple of chances throughout the course of this fixture here at Anfield. One looked like a handball, although the speed it came at him, you don't know.
It was handball.
It was handball,
If it had gone to VAR, if it had gone in, it caught his hand, it would have been disallowed. There's nothing he could do about it. You know, it's a ball in, Kelleher comes out, he punches it, it hits Foden, I think, chest and then arm onto the crossbar. Unfortunately, it would have been ruled out for handball. It's not really a chance as such.
This next chance he gets, I try to put myself in that position. I've been in that position he was in. And I thought when it come, my instinct was to say, just think. The goalkeeper's come out and sort of done a star jump. He's not really dived to his left where you can dink it over his body. But you've got an option. You slot it down the near post, slot it through his legs, or you dink it over him. He got it wrong. And well done, Kelleher. Again.
Sounds silly then. Is that because it's his weaker foot? I know he hasn't really got much. I mean, he is predominantly left-footed. I think if that's on his left foot, I think he scores that. And the first touch that he has in that, it bobbles around a little bit, and he doesn't, very, very unlike Phil Foden, he doesn't kill that ball instantly to set it up. I think if he has a better first touch, which you would expect, he's then got the option to maybe open his body up and bend it with his left foot into the far corner or drag it into the near post with his left foot. Right foot, I think we've seen, is not his strongest forte.
Normally, when you're scoring goals like he's been scoring goals, everything is crystal clear. You go through, you see the bottom corner, the goalkeeper's coming out, you seem to have time. And when you're not scoring, that becomes difficult, that chance. You can't see anything. So I was expecting him to score. Maybe I was expecting too much. He's not a centre forward, but he gets enough goals. I think he's got about 11 and 7 assists.
It's his most goal contributions.
He's doing
nearly
great.
20 all competitions, isn't it?
And he's got in there again. You know, you've got to get there to miss them chances. It's easy to stay on the halfway line and jog.
See, I never miss those chances.
He's jogging on the halfway line
in the first place.
I mean, just comparing him by his own high standards, I just feel there's talk about him being Player of the Year. We just discussed it. He'll be disappointed with his performance today, Foden. I mean, these are the type of games where if he had been the difference maker, if he had given all 3 points to City, he would be Player of the Year. You know what I mean?
He's an unbelievable talent. He's absolutely exceptional. I still think there's a debate of where is his strongest position. You know, where do you plan to make the most out of Phil Foden? He started off on the right-hand side today, ended up down the middle as the 10 or the false 9, at times behind Haaland. Phil Foden is one of those exceptional talents and players that works best at Man City. If he went to play for another team, where would you play him? And that's what you have with the England conundrum. You know, what is his strongest position? Because you've got Bellingham that wants to play in that number, out-and-out number 10. You've got Saka on the right-hand side that wants to cut in on his left foot. But Foden wants to play there. But he doesn't quite have the pace of Saka. He's got different attributes and different abilities. Foden needs to be in a team that dominates possession, you know, all the time, which obviously City do, you know, more often than not. He's one of those, he's a generational talent that is unbelievable to watch and play. I just want to see him maybe dominate games a little bit more, like we've seen Bernardo Silva. And I spoke to Dean about that during the game, and he said, Bernardo Silva's the finished article. You know, I think sometimes we forget Phil Foden's got more trophies than probably most people, and he's still only 23.
Yeah.
You can't leave him out of the England team. You've got to fit him in somewhere. And I would play him on the left. I'd play him on the left. I'd play Saka on the right and Harry Kane down the middle. And the midfield, my midfield would be Trent, Declan Rice and Bellingham. That's the midfield I play.
It's a shame.
I'm not English, by the way.
Well,
I think it's a shame that Saka can't play on the left.
Yeah,
because we're lacking. I know we're off topic now, but England's got. There's a little bit of an imbalance down that left-hand side. No real left-back, no real natural left-sided player. If Saka could play on the left, then suddenly you'd be okay with that, and you'd have something different. But Phil Foden, he will keep getting better. You know, he's just got to keep learning. You know, keep working at his game, learning from the players that he plays around, and eventually, I think he will start to get to the point where he dominates games.
Do you know what though, Dan? Today, it couldn't have been set up more perfect for him. He's got Joe Gomez playing left-back. Diaz is playing in front of Joe Gomez, not giving him any protection, really. And he's got De Bruyne just playing inside him, Phil Foden. So when Liverpool lost the ball, they had the half the pitch to themselves, De Bruyne and Foden. Normally, if you leave them that much room, they kill you. Or Haaland kills you with a service.
I think that worked out for Liverpool a little bit, because Gomez being right-footed, Phil Foden wants to come inside, and that's onto Gomez's stronger foot. Yeah, you know, if you've got if Robertson had been out there, on, you know, left foot, suddenly turning the wrong way, coming inside, you're dangling your weaker foot, it's difficult. Whereas every time he came inside, that's into Gomez's strength. So maybe I think there was a touch of fortune.
They did have square
Liverpool.
pegs in round, and we talked about it before the game. I think there's only 4 starters in that Liverpool team today. So if you'd have said before the game, we've only got 4 starters, we've got a patched up team, we'll take a point. I think they would have took a point.
You would have said the same at the League Cup final.
Yes.
Who
And
wins that?
now they'll be disappointed. I mean, when we saw the teams at the start of the game, we looked at it and thought, Liverpool are going to struggle. And it looked like the first half that we were going to be right. But they came out second half, they got the penalty, poor mistake from Ederson. And then all of a sudden, Liverpool have momentum. And they're the ones pushing forward, they're the ones pressing, they're the ones creating the majority of chances.